I'm really glad that we're talking about this, especially coming out of COVID, because this was a really important thing that happened.
Yeah.
The decision to rename the basically our fellowship hall during the time of COVID, and I've been really a proponent of it in part because when I first started coming to St. John's, that I was a little ill at ease with having a facility on campus named after Goethe, having been acquainted with all of the reasons that other people have taken what I thought was his name off their buildings. But when I mentioned that, I would be told, oh, but it's not that Goethe. And I wonder if, which is true, I now understand is true, but also isn't the whole story. Do you want to tell more of the whole story?
I think that's exactly the right way to put it. What it is and was a true statement. That hall was named after Pastor Matthias Goethe, our founder. A very interesting man and really someone worthy of naming it after him. He left Germany after some political unrest. He was trying to do some good work there, and then became a pastor in Australia and made his way to San Francisco, and eventually then said yes to coming here for till 1875. Participated in 2 church moves, and it's hard to start a church, and got us going. But the rest of the story about the naming of that hall over there that we didn't really want to talk about was that the money that was used for that hall came through a bequest from the nefarious and infamous C.M. Goethe, who is the grandson of our founding pastor, Matthias Goethe. So that nexus of the money that was used to make that into, I think it was a Lutheran recreation center. Mm-hmm. It was used for many, many things. But but that's the part of the story that we're coming more intentionally to terms with in this decision to rename this hall.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I wonder for the people who understood from the outset that it was named for our founder, I imagine that there's a sense of loss in that connection in changing the name. And is that something you want to speak to?
I really do. I feel that loss. And it's complicated to name things after people because people are flawed. Anybody could have their name taken down because they're not perfect people. Really, the issue here has nothing to do with Pastor Matthias Goethe, who was a founder that we are thankful for. I want to just say out loud, if there was another opportunity to lift this founder up that's not connected to money from C.M. Goethe, we could look at that and maybe should. But the nexus was too much for. If we ignored that nexus, we were ignoring the truth about money. And we did accept that gift. It came in a bequest. So we had to get real about that money, which we believe is used for a hall that's been used for good purposes that might even make C.M. Goethe roll in his grave.
Right.
That hall's been used to house people. The St. John's Program for Real Change, the shelter started there. We do respite programs there. We have people of every race and belief that use that space. But we had to address it directly.
Is there, in your opinion, is there a reason that it's particularly important for us to address it, even though, like, at this point, what we're addressing is a name that has associations that aren't even the ones that isn't even the person we mean. Like,
Right.
Is there a reason we have to deal with that money, that facility having been refurbished with money from C.M. Goethe?
Yeah, I think we are learning more about what it means to be white in culture and a predominantly white congregation. I think we have to address it to specifically address the eugenicist proclamations of the grandson who gave the money for this building. It was important for a Christian church to not do what was easy, which was just to sweep it under the carpet, but to acknowledge this, to acknowledge that this gift did come from this person, to be honest about that, and then to do right by the naming of this building and our desire to use this hall and whatever other part of this legacy to do our very best with it as Christians.